The electromagnetic spectrum includes at one end X-rays and gamma rays, and at the other end radio waves and extremely low frequency ELF waves with visible light in the middle. We're not usually aware of other types of electromagnetic energy, and yet it's all around us. The first program looks at the potentially beneficial uses of electromagnetism in medicine.
Can you tell me, Ruby, how much of your little finger you lost in that car or accident?
About 2/3 of the fingernail length was lost. The whole top came off.
So that's in fact it's about half an inch almost, isn't it?
Yes.
And what did you do?
Well, it was just bandaged and left, and I was told that it would regrow.
And did it?
Yes, quite considerably. It's not totally the same size as it used to be, but it's grown at least 3/8 of an inch, I would think. For the first day I had to hold it in the air so that it didn't bleed too much. But before very long I was just able to work normally. But it had a dressing on for about 2 months, I would think.
And how long did it take to grow again?
Well, within 6 months it had grown back together, but it continued to grow in length for about 2 years.
And now it's as good as new, is it?
Almost. It's not quite as long as the other finger, but I have full sensitivity in it, and I just forget about it having been injured.
To do nothing and let the finger regrow of its own accord is now the standard treatment in a small number of British hospitals. The fact that finger ends will grow again with precisely the same fingerprints was discovered in the early 1970s by a consultant working at Sheffield Infirmary.
Well, this was absolutely fantastic. When clinicians were first shown these pictures, they just didn't believe them. Because here, the finger was cut off, and it grows again into a complete finger. And the interesting thing is there is a potential, there's a current flowing out from this part of the skin into to the end of the finger. If you stitch the finger, then you change the potential. The finger heals, but of course it doesn't grow again. If you leave that potential, that current flowing, then it heals as before. And I think that here we've got a clear-cut case that the currents flow, this bioelectricity is terribly important. The electricity, which we call bioelectricity, or the electricity of life, is, you can measure it all over the body. I can now show you with this little demonstration set that I've got. This is just a voltmeter, or a current meter if you like. It measures very small currents, and these are just two special electrodes that pick up the voltage in the liquid. If I put my hand in there, you can see it moves. I'm actually feeding current from one hand to the other through that meter. So I'm producing electricity. And if I took that electrode out, for instance, and I put my finger in there and I put it on my face, it's all over.
That's an even bigger difference.
Yeah. Put it all over. The surface of the skin are electrons.
Leave the machine forward there.
David Wilson is the consultant surgeon in charge of the casualty department at Leeds General Infirmary. He uses pulsed electromagnetic energy to speed the recovery of sprains, dislocations and post-operative ulcers.
And the pulses.
He is also researching the use of pulsed radio waves to help damaged nerves regrow. If successful, this could have a profound effect on the future treatment of paraplegics.
And then there's a long resting phase between one pulse and the next.
It has tremendous potential. I think, particularly perhaps since the Second World War, the drug companies have persuaded the medical profession that all respectable treatment should be drug-based, that it should be a chemical treatment. Whereas what I'm saying is that I think there are physical treatments, of which diapulse is but one example, which are useful, valuable, and being neglected by the medical profession at the present time. One remarkable feature is that they tend to be totally free of ill effects and side effects, whereas many of the drug treatments, of course, do carry side effects and unwanted reactions. So I'm very keen that the profession as a whole should take a more serious look at the value of physical treatments,